It's been a while since I made a video on my own MEV bot. Many people ask me about it, and in today's video I'm going to show you exactly the profit it made over 4 months that it's been running. You will see how many transactions, profitable transactions it makes on average per week or per day. What's the overall profit it makes per sandwich, and whether it makes sense for you to build something like this or not. And before I get into it, I want to warn you and let you know that this is not something I've been doing full-time, meaning this is not my full-time dedication. I've been working on this from time to time and I left it there sitting, so I didn't really spend much time improving it. The results here should speak for themselves, but if you really want to increase profits and make something that pays your bills, you need to spend days working on the bot, constantly improving it and make changes so that it's the most profitable it's been. So you can see here it's been almost 130 days since it began running, and these are all the bundles. First it started with this bundle. Let's take a look at the bundles it made at the sandwich transactions and their overall profit and how often it makes those profitable transactions. So see here, we're spending this much Ether, $57 to buy this random token, and we sold that token then for $59. So we got a $2 profit, almost a $2 profit rate. But when you take into consideration the fees, they are 0.68 and 0.97, so it almost takes the entire profit. You are left with 40 cents or 30 cents with one bundle. Now that's nothing, right? It's very little, but when it comes to sandwiching, there's a very high level of competition out there, so you can expect these types of returns unless you make some improvements over it. And this is a very basic bot, and I say basic because it doesn't work with tokens that have fees, buy or sell fees. It simply works with tokens on Uniswap v2 that don't have any fees, any swap buy or sell fees. So it's very limited, and many people are targeting those tokens specifically. That's why the profit is so reduced. But yes, it still makes that money overall every day, almost every day. You see here, this is one bundle. Two, it made 3 bundles in one day, in the first day. We can check the profit on this also, and it's 439, and we got 441, so that is almost $40 in profit. That is much better, right? Much better. But then, well, it's not $40, it's how much is that? $5 in profit. But then we give to the validators 126, and in this also transaction 126. So we made about $3 in profit, which is nice, right? Compared to the previous one, this is much better. So you can begin to see that the profit moves from depending on the bundle, on the transactions, and it can be very different. It's not stable, right? There's a lot of variance. So 70.80 on this one, 70.95, so that is a $15 profit. We are giving to the validators 11, that's about 80% or 90% of the profit. So we are left with $4 in profit, and we take 1, so we made $3 in profit. That is nice, right? For someone that doesn't have any money and doesn't want to work on a job or a business, this is something super passive. You just let it run and it works for you. The next day we only see 1 bundle, and the profit, let's quickly review it. It made 1,234 and then 1,237, so $3 again, and we give $2 and about $1, so that had like 30 cents in profit. So this is something realistic if you want to build a basic bot that doesn't implement complex strategies and it's not differentiated from the competition. All right. So what we are seeing from now is the first day it made 3 bundles. Second day it made 1 bundle. The third day it made 1, 2, and 3. This one for some reason it failed, but we don't care about that. So 3 bundles the second day or the third day. Then the fourth day 2 bundles. The next day 1 bundle. There's been a bunch of days where it didn't make any bundles, probably because I turned off the bot or some issue. And we see another, it starts back again, and we can see that it's making from 1. Here in this day there's a lot more. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bundles in one day. 1, 2, and 3. Something weird. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3. So we are seeing here that it made from 1 bundle, profitable bundle, to 5. That's the variance that we can see from now on. And the profit goes from a few cents, like 20 cents, to a few dollars, $2 or $3. Now that seems very little, right? But it's passive income, right? You don't have to do anything. Once you deploy it, it goes. And this has been running for 4 months, so it's not something new that I modified. And this hasn't been modified. I thought that the bot would not continue to make profit because it would get outcompeted by the older bots, but seems like that's not the case. 1, 2, 3. 3 bundles here. 1, 2, 3, again 3, and some days it doesn't make anything. So yes, some days I don't know why, maybe the gas costs are too high or whatever, or this account, the one I'm using for feeding it gas, doesn't have any funds. That's why it was stopped for a while. So you gotta take things into consideration: the gas that you have available, the deposit you make on your bot, because the more you deposit, the higher the ether or the funds that you can use to sandwich and front run users, the more transactions you can target, because you need a specific amount of ether to target sandwich transactions, of course. So overall, as you can see, it's making bundles for 4 months non-stop. There are some issues, as you can see, transactions that are not working. There are some days where it stopped because maybe I didn't take care of it, or because some days the competition is higher, or whatever it is. We don't know exactly what's the issue, but what we can do here is simply optimize, find the issues, and try to make it better. One of the things I did is I added a new method for sandwiching that is much more gas efficient. So you can see the call data, the input data, is so much more smaller than the others. You see it's a very small amount, which means the gas cost will be way lower than the other method I'm using, which is more precise, but the gas cost is higher. Let's take a look at the profit on this one. This was today at 22 hours ago. Let's see if the profit changed or not. 170, 1070, and that was 1066. So about $4 in profit. Yeah. We give $2 and then also $1.70 something. So about 30 cents. It's not much, like I said, but this is something that I expected, because this bot targets transactions that are very commonly targeted and are easy to pick up. The most advanced bots, they do the following. They target multiple transactions at once, meaning the bot will look at the mempool, and once it will collect multiple sandwiches and put them together into one transaction, into one bundle. So you can be sandwiching 3 or 4 or 5 transactions, 5 victims at once. That's what Jared does. He is, well, not only him, but many other bots. They simply take a look at all the transactions in one block and put them together in one single bundle, which increases the profit. It makes them more likely to win the block, meaning they are more competitive, so that makes them create more bundles. It gives them a higher profit because they can extract a higher percentage from those bundles, and overall it makes more money. I would say that implementing multiple tokens in one transaction, which is something I've been doing but I left to the side, I forgot about it, that could increase the profit to $5 or $10 per day just on that strategy alone. So imagine $10 per day passively without doing anything. That is significantly better, right? Then another thing will be implementing or supporting tax tokens, those that have fees on transfer, fees on sell, those types of tokens, right? You know what I mean. Now those are much more difficult to sandwich because you are buying, you're getting taxed on your purchase, and then you're selling and you're getting taxed on the sale, and you gotta update the bot to make sure it's considering the balance after the fees. So if you buy $100, you gotta understand that there is a 5% fee, so you will only receive $95 tokens. But the good thing about this is that many tokens are launched with buy and sell fees, and those, when they are launched, the users, because of the high demand that they have on launch, they increase the slippage to a massive level. So you can expect, let's say, a 5% token. When you buy and you sell, you lose a 5% of the purchase. When there is a lot of volatility and a new token is launched, the users may increase it to 40 or 30%, the slippage to 40%, meaning you have a 20% slippage room to make sandwiches and bundles, which allows you to capture many very attractive opportunities and make very much increase in profits. And this is something that could take you to $100 per day or $50 per day, simply because of the fact that many new tokens are increasing their fees to a massive level. So that could be a very nice improvement from $10 to $50 just on that strategy alone. And this one is more attractive because new tokens are hyped up. People are increasing the slippage manually, so they get that increased room for us to extract profit and optimize the markets. Those are the strategies that I would implement myself. Another one would be to use stable coins, meaning instead of just sandwiching with Ether, I would sandwich with Tether or USDC. I would use USDC to buy a token and then sell a token back for USDC or back to Ether. You know, we can combine stable coins and Ether once we know that the price of it is stable or whatever. That can make us a very nice profit. This, I don't know how much it can make us, but definitely there's some profit there on the table. Another one would be to use and accept V3 and other types of DEXs. V3 Uniswap is one of the most popular DEXs, the second one after Uniswap V2, and many transactions are being done there, but it's more difficult to implement, specifically if you are using Huff and your own smart contract, because the logic is different, right? There's a lot more moving pieces in there. But this one, since you are sending bundles, private transactions, you don't have to worry about making the bot as perfect as possible, because you won't get the slippage yourself. You won't be affected by slippage since you are sending those bundles yourself. So you can be more relaxed in your approach when it comes to sending V3 bundles and sandwiches. There are other types of DEXs like PancakeSwap. They are similar to V3, but they have differences, and there are many others that we don't even consider them because of the low volume, or maybe they are not as interesting. But this one can also take us to, I don't know, maybe $5 per day or so. Now it depends, of course. Most people don't focus on other dexes because they don't see the profit there, but this is something that can be done. And overall, the best thing that you can do is to sandwich using your own tokens, meaning you buy a token, let's say Pepe, and you sandwich sales of Pepe, meaning other users are selling Pepe, you front run those sales, you sell, they get slipped out, they get the minimum slippage, and then you buy back your Pepe while also getting a reward in Ether or maybe stable coins even. So there's a lot of work that can be done to improve this bot, but I simply left it on the side because I wasn't too concerned about it. I was focused on other priorities. But if I wanted to implement this, I would build a team and make it possible. This is something you can do yourself, or if you want, I can help you out, create your own team, of course. If you want to see how it's done, how to create your own bot without you having any coding experience or little coding experience, then I recommend you to send me a message and then we can discuss what can be done right. Overall, what I recommend you is to take a look at what other bots are doing, try to implement it on top of your bot. That will increase your chances of making a profit and make you more and a better MEV searcher. Now, when it comes to the costs, I have a server, an overkill server. I pay too much for it. It's about $200 a month. Just to have my own Ethereum node, my own Binance node, because I also do sandwiching on Binance since a while, but I left Binance to the side. It's not as attractive to me, but I know users that are using Binance Smart Chain to sandwich tokens. There are Flashbot-like tools that allow you to sandwich and send bundles, right? But yeah, the cost is $200 a month, but I use the server for multiple purposes, for my other tools, my sandwich and sniping tools. And overall, it's very beneficial for me because if I can create my own node and add the sandwich top right on the same server, they can connect through IPC, which is extremely fast. It takes less than a millisecond to send a transaction and communicate and get the data from the database, from the blockchain. And I found that this is the best approach because that way you can simulate transactions extremely fast, even using JavaScript, and get the best results. Now, if you want to optimize it further, you can use Rust to program your MEV bot, or you can use and access the blockchain database directly, which is written in IDMX or something like that. I don't remember the name, but there is a way to access the Reth or Geth database directly, meaning you can enter the database of the blockchain that contains all the transactions and all the things there. This will give you the maximum performance improvement because you can access things in less than milliseconds, picoseconds, extremely fast. But you gotta consider whether that makes sense for you or not, because maybe you are not interested in that much of a performance improvement. What you should focus is on implementing strategies, executing them properly, and making them run well, because then you can benefit the most by having your own bot constantly running and making profitable bundles. Now, as a deposit, I'm using 1 Ether, but that Ether grew to 162 Ether worth over time because of the bot being run, because the bot has been running for a year or so. After I made some changes, I deployed to this others, and this one has been running for 4 months, but before this one I had another one that has been running for a year or so. And the reason I deployed this new one is because it has some improvements, some new changes that make the bot more profitable. So overall, in short, the summary is, if you want to create your own MEV bot, this is how it looks like. This is what you can expect if we are doing sandwiching. This, as our summary, let's see what's the potential profit that we can make on these improvements alone. This could make $5 to $10 per day in extra profit. This is huge because it allows us to get more bundles and make them more profitable by combining them into one single transaction, by taking more transactions into one, more victims into one. Implementing tax tokens, this can depend, I would say, 5 to maybe $3 to $50. I say 50 because some tokens, every day there are new tokens being released, but some tokens are more likely to be targeted because they increase the slippage to higher levels, and we can target those and extract a higher profit. But of course it depends on the token, and the fact is there are many tax tokens. I would say 50% or more of the tokens being released, they have fees, transfer, buy or sell fees. So we want to target those specifically in V2 because Uniswap V2 allows tax tokens. V3 doesn't allow that. Using stablecoins, that's a big change because we will have to modify how the entire bot works, because stablecoins are a different species. We don't use Ether, or, well, it wouldn't be that difficult now that I think about it, because we are using WETH wrapped Ether, so it wouldn't be that difficult. And the profit, I don't know, man, I would say $1 to $5 just daily on the things that we have right now. If we combine those, if we take this and then we implement this and then we implement this strategy will be far more profitable. It can be $30 in profit per day after all the previous changes. So they stack up on each other, meaning if you can make $10 here with this strategy, you don't make 50, you make $100 combined with this one, because you are now, how do I say this? You are scaling your strategy by combining multiple techniques that allow you to grow faster, like being able to sandwich multiple transactions at once, considering tax tokens and using stable coins at once. That puts you in a much higher level. You get so many more bundles because you have those three things, and they are more profitable, so you can make way more money on your sandwich bot. We're talking $100, $1,000 a day or more. Now if you accept V3 and other tokens, that can take us to a new level, and these ones can be, I would say, $3 to $30. These are random rough numbers that I just pulled out my head, and it can be way more if we combine them with all these strategies. Let's say if we implemented all of these strategies before, then it would take us to $100 or more combined. You see, this one, I would say this is the most profitable one, because sandwiching using tokens or holding tokens is the less competitive thing, because not many people are holding tokens, right? Most sandwich bots, they use wrapped Ether or stable coins because that's the token they want to hold. But when you use other tokens like Pepe or anything that's been released recently, there is zero competition, pretty much zero competition, and there's a lot of activity. Many users are selling and buying specific tokens, and when they sell, you make a profit. So this, I would say, $100 to $500 per day, depending on the token, of course. You gotta consider the volatility that the tokens have, because you may buy a token and that token drops in value, but this can take you for amazing levels of value. And I would say overall, if we added all of these strategies, that can make us $100 to $1,000 in profit per day. I know it sounds crazy, but that's easy to get, right? Well, it's not easy, but it takes some work to do, but it can be done. That's what I'm saying. especially if you increase your deposits. If you deposit, like, let's say 20 ether and 20,000 in stable coins, that allows us to target more tokens, make more transactions, and make a lot more money. Now, those are the improvements I would add to my bot, and I can even, and I think I will show you updates in the future to see the profit it made on these changes. So you can see that, okay, this is actually something that is happening. There is a profit here. There is an increase in how much it makes. These are the transactions that we can make, the bundles and the profit. Yeah, because if we use all of these strategies, it's so much better. Right now it makes from 0.3 per bundle to $3. It's nothing, right? This is per day. It's very little because we are in a very high competition area, and we don't implement unique strategies on that. But if we implement all of these things, yeah, it can go crazy. So if you're building your own bot, try to do these things. I shouldn't be telling you this, but we're not competing here. We're just building the same thing together. And let me know if you can notice this type of improvements overall. Yeah, the sky's the limit with MEV bots. So let me know what you think, and see you soon. Hit that subscribe video, hit that subscribe, like, and comment on this video to let me know what type of content you want to see next. See you soon.